All right, shalom, most high in Christ, bless, happy Sabbath to everybody tuning in across the globe. All praises to the most high in Christ. We made it to another Sabbath, and you know, some people are not here. You got a lot of things happening in the world, as we say over and over and over again, and you have to realize that it's all predestined by the Most High. All right, it's all written in the Holy Bible. And if you are just tuning in, make sure you have your 1611 King James Bible, okay? Which you say you read or you say you believe in, but it's just gathering dust. Make sure you have that, okay? Make sure you have a highlighter or a pen or something. Take notes. Some of y'all are technologically savvy right now, so you taking notes on your phones and everything else. But what happens if the power goes dead? All right? What happens if an EMP strike you? Yeah, what happens if war breaks out? All right, then where your technology goes, okay? They showed that what was a couple weeks ago when all the technology went down. A lot of people was, scrambling. All right, you have to realize the status quo in which you believe life to be and everything, how everything is set up, all the amenities, everything, all right, can be taken away in a moment notice, and then you'll be left with what? That's why when you read this book and you say you believe in Christ, we must gather ourselves together and start forming our alliances and understanding what we must do according to the Bible. Every other nation is forming alliances. Understand that. The so-called Chinese man, all right? But all his sectors of his family, you got the Japanese, you got the Koreans, North Korea, South Korea, you have China, Hong Kong, all of these places, all right, are coming together, figuring out their agenda on how they're going to thrive as a people. But what do? We're sitting back worrying about voting on a whole nother system that does not even belong to us. It's not biblical. Voting is not biblical. God is against it. So what you're seeing in the media, you can almost now paint the picture. It's so crazy and comical. If you watch, let's go to the cable networks. If you watch, you can go outside your house. You can see. Let me watch anybody who listens to MSNBC or CNN. You look at them, they're wearing masks. They got the mask on. All right. You look at the majority of people watching Fox, they don't even believe in masks at all. You have to realize this is a spiritual warfare that's going on, and the Most High is shining a light, okay? And he's shining a light real hard. So you have to pay attention. We're going to go over some biblical things. We're going to go over some history tonight, okay? Lord say the same. Pay attention, all right? Make sure you sit babies down, the kids, give them a sandwich or something like that. Sit them down. Okay, because technically, when you really start to get into the Bible, when we read this, Satan starts happening. People gonna start calling your phone. You watching the class, people calling your phone about nonsense. Okay, all of that is to derail you from learning the Bible and learning who you really are according to the Bible and who's the major players. We're gonna go over some of that tonight. You folks in tonight's class is called, some of y'all already know, the fall of white supremacy. Is this in the Bible, however? That's what we got to find out, because we say we believe on the book. The fall of white supremacy. Yeah, you see in the background, you got the white man carved into the Rocky Mountains. Mount Rushmore, all right? I call it Rocky Mountains because it's very shaky. He got his picture up there. You see the Statue of Liberty. That's an Edomite. You see the huge statue in Rio, of course, of Caesar Borgia. All right, a false image of Christ, which people make pilgrimage to that. All right, same thing in Jerusalem. People are making all kind of moves based upon religious ideologies, but trying to tear down the white man's statues. But in all actuality, you should be tearing down your mind first, because he's the one that brung to you the white supremacy, the Christianity. All right. So make sure you make sure you focus tonight. And this class right here is no doubt speaking to you so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics, whose fathers of Negroid Indian descent, all right, who have been preyed upon because of not keeping the commandments and alienating yourself from your heritage. This is how it went. When you don't keep commandments, you alienate yourself. You start separating yourself like a sick sheep. And what that does is, who could you run to? You're not going to run to the people keeping commandments. You're going to run to the other nations. And that's what ultimately always we did. We don't keep commandments. We fall. We run to the other nations. So the Most High, what he does, delivers us to the other nations, and they grind you to powder. All right. And the last faction of us, of course, 70 AD, was kicked out of Jerusalem. And then from that point on, we are now into the state of mind that we're in right now. We don't even consider ourselves the holy people. We consider ourselves Black Lives Matter. That's your new nationality now. Yep. Black Lives Matter is your new nationality. I mean, let's talk about white supremacy. Let's open up with Jeremiah chapter 22 and verse 13. That's all I want on it. This is for you to get in your mind how God feels about something, okay? Get this in your mind. Jeremiah 22 and verse 13.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Happy Sabbath to all. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and verse 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness.
By unrighteousness. So a lot of y'all are not ignorant. A lot of y'all are not stupid. You understand that what the so-called white man did for this country is came in here and stole it, raped, robbed, pillaged, murdered, anything he can. And now he put his images up all over the country, and people are tearing it down, and people are mad. You got one group of people angry because the statues is their heritage, and the other group are saying, get him out of here. It's bringing shame upon us. We're going to find out about all that, okay? Read it again.
Jeremiah chapter 22 and verse 13.
Woe
unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness.
By unrighteousness. Woe to him who buildeth his house by unrighteousness. Come on.
And his chambers by wrong.
And his chambers by wrong. Because you're going to find out. Matter of fact, you have to understand his lineage. What happens in the marriage chamber is you're supposed to be dealing in the marriage chamber and then bring forth children. But this man chambers is filled with straight unrighteousness. Wrong. Come on.
That useth his neighbor's service without wages.
So we were slaves. Did you get paid? Did your family get paid? Are you still wealthy from working in the slave markets? Answer that question. Do you have a family laid up of wealth and everything from slavery time?
The only family crest we got is cotton. And somebody else's cotton. That's all we have.
Come on.
And giveth him not for his work.
And giveth him not for his work. So if you had understood this back when they had took us into slavery, you could have been like, wait a minute, excuse me? But what happened is something unique in America. I'm going to show y'all some clips tonight. Something very unique happened in America. Let me see if I can find it. I think I sent it to you. Let me make sure I get it for y'all. Let me see. Pull it up. Let me see what you got. Nah. Go. Let me send it to you. Hang on, y'all. You see it? Nah, just hold on to that. Just hold on. Just hold on. I got to get this to y'all. I might not. I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to you. Hang on. This is important. Hang on, y'all. We are live. We are live. There we go. Let me get this to you. Let me know if you get this. Y'all got to see this. If we slow down, we're on a couple channels tonight. You probably catch it on YouTube or go to our website, isoc12.org. And if they shut us down, because, of course, it always happens. All right, there you go. I just sent it to you. Play that real quick for y'all. Let's let y'all hear this. We've been trying to get to this museum for a long time. Hopefully we could get to it and actually document some things in there. But watch this. Let's go.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way,
pause.
King James
Rewind
Version
it
has
for them. Rewind that for the folks. We want y'all to hear what's going on. This is a museum that's up. They have the Bible that they use to indoctrinate us with Christianity. Yep. They have it, and it was being passed around. They have an authentic copy of it. Watch this. Play it again.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged.
We got to let that sink in, folks.
Been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, let my people go.
Pause.
Go.
No story of the Israelites showing the similitude of Israel being brung into hard bondage, and the Lord will raise us out of hard bondage. No story like that. Can't get that to the slaves. We know too much about them. Don't give them who they are. Mm-hmm. Watch this. Come on.
Gone is Galatians, and the verse, there is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
So they took Galatians out because what apologetics and those folks that so hardly believe, they run the Galatians and Paul, with the early folks who was in Christianity understood is if we got a hold of Galatians, it will take our minds and understand that we can make atonement. We can make atonement 100% through Christ, and it will ultimately free us. It would ultimately free us. Why would they take that out of there? Because you have little children that's being raised in slavery who don't know anything. They wanted to erase that out of their minds. See, the older folks, a lot of the older slaves, when you start going into the treasury and going into the follow the money, a lot of the older slaves who had an understanding of things was dying off, and it was being used as a tax write-off. They were taking slaves. It's a commodity. Like you had a cattle and it died, write it off. All right? But the little ones who don't really know anything, who could be brainwashed. They took this out. Watch, play on.
And know Jeremiah. Woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
We just read that.
Left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, slaves be obedient to your master.
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. I mean, it looks like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
Yeah, pause.
Bible,
it would have been the first time we was exposed to that Bible. It was the first time you're exposed to that Bible, all right? Because the way that they set it up was to keep your mind in servitude, basically make you a slave. Yeah, of course. At the bottom, it says Israel. Yeah, right underneath it. Come on.
Selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. When people encounter this exhibit, what lasting impression do you want them to leave with?
But we want to pass the message on that may this never happen again.
Pause.
The Bible itself.
So our heritage and our history and everything is packed in these museums. This is one of thousands of collections there, and even in Britain. You're going to find out about that too. They have all our records as well. But when you go to, you want to read that?
Yeah, I just want to read this because some of y'all who may be new have to understand even the Bible depicts and shows who is behind, because that one nation I'm going to read is going to show you who is behind the master plan. See, everyone want to accuse us as being conspiracy theorists, as crackpots and so forth, and just make up stuff, right? Well, the Holy Bible itself is going to show you who's really against you, Israel, because understand something. It's kind of funny how we supposed to be so inferior, right? But you take verses out of the Bible because you claim that we're like animals, we can't read, but yet you want to keep us from reading. It goes against all common logic, right? So we're supposed to be these animals and these subhumans, but you somehow want to keep all this history from us, right? We're going to hear what the Bible has to say about this. The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their heads. So what that's telling you is we have enemies. And it's showing you those that hate thee have lifted up their head in pride. Because all these nations that had us in captivity, right now, the primary source now is the so-called white man. And we're going to read about him even in this particular chapter. Okay? Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So the crafty counsel is something well thought out, well planned out, such as the slave Bible. So it was planned out, it was thought out, like Willie Lynch. That was planned. It was planned. Crafty counsel means it's very, very subtle, very sneaky. Okay? And then it says it has counsel against thy people and the hidden ones, or you so-called black, so-called Hispanics, who are the true biblical Israelites. We are the hidden ones because right now we're hidden because we're hidden behind different nationality. They're calling us blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. So that's what makes us hidden, right? Okay, verse 4. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance by taking out the stuff out of the Bible, the slave Bible. That's another crafty counsel to keep us from realizing who we are. Verse 5.
He took the start of the Israelites out. If you take Exodus out of the Bible,
right,
you're basically taking the start of showing our nation coming up.
Exactly. Verse 5. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate. Ain't that funny? Confederate. Confederate.
They complaining about that now. All the Confederate monuments
right.
and stuff.
They are confederate against thee. The tabernacle of Edom. That's all I wanted.
That's it.
He's the ringleader. Why did it say Edom first? Because it's telling Edom is the so-called white man. That's his biblical nationality. It's showing you who's the ringleader. Because it showed you that man, when he said we want to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and it's all the tabernacles, his whole house.
Right.
Every Edomite a square across the world. All right, you might be calling yourself Russian.
Right.
You might be calling yourself French or whatever. From Spain.
Right.
All the same. All the same. They are Confederate. The whole tabernacles. All right, just consistently putting pressure on our people to wipe us off the face of the earth. But all praises to the Most High, he left Christ. Because the Lord, if he wouldn't have sent Christ at the pivotal time he did, these people would have grind us to powder. But because Christ now is going to return back upon the earth, there's biblical prophecies that have to take place. You folks got to still understand that. This book has prophecies, and if you're ignorant to it, you're clueless to what's going on. Matter of fact, we was talking about it the other day. The Most High took, and when you read in Exodus, he told them to smite the dust of the earth, and he sent plagues. The Most High took dust from Africa, from north portion of Africa, and let it seep all the way over here. Dust just seeping. Y'all are breathing the dust that's over there, and the Most High is plaguing and killing folks again. You can look that up. Look that video up for them. Look the video up. The dust that's traveling over. Okay. Yes, sending plagues to spiritual Egypt. A lot of people don't realize that. You're just ignorant of what's happening according to God, and you're living in perilous times, and you're living careless and reckless. That's the difference. And the Most High just consistently smacking week in, day in, everything. All right, and you have not learned. Another thing, 4th of July is coming. A lot of y'all folks don't realize. Watch what happens. It happens every year. The Most High, you want to live like them, the Most High ends up sending a death angel at your party. Yep. All right. Understand that. Now, the reason why we're saying, and we showed Psalms 83 and how they're Confederate, because they took things out of the Bible, and then what they did was gave us writings from men. I'm gonna show you something. Go to the video real quick. Hold that video. We're gonna get to that dust, but I want you to get that video with about Negroland. See, another thing is what has happened is a lot of people, you folks have transitioned to digital age. Everybody. When we understand, gather up what's been put out there and let's bring it in. Right. And we take and start gathering these books, these old books and books that's been written in the 16th century. And when you read these books, they're telling on themselves because it's at an age of infancy within the construct of slavery. They just think they're on top. Oh, we can say anything. And things are being revealed. Okay, in these books. But I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is the supremacy at its finest. This is white supremacy, how it cultivated. All right. We're gonna show you the inception of it in the Bible, but we're showing you the edge of it, which is over here in America. This is the fall of it. America's the fall of white supremacy. That's what's happening. Okay. Now give me that video. Yeah, this is what pay attention, pay close attention. I might skip around, but I just want y'all to hear some things. Let's go.
Following information is the first chapter plus a portion of the second of the book written in 1868 entitled The Negroes of Negroland. It's a book which is a collection of quotes from several books written by a handful of brave European explorers. Collection of quotes from several books written by...
Pause. He's the devil. This guy right here is the devil. He wrote, he's the person that got the book called Americas. The book, remember we seen it about 10 years ago. We was wondering why was that book over $500,000? Right. $500,000 for that book. Show him the picture of the natives. He had artists to draw the Indians. draw the Indians, zoom in on it, all right, who they call Indian savages. In this book, y'all, they're telling you that these people are Israelites. In this book. Look how they got the natives. They're telling you that in this book that they're the Israelites, and he's fighting with other people. There, they've got it in the old farms. He's letting you know. All right, we'll put some of these excerpts up for y'all too, probably in the biblical histories room. But the point is, he's saying that these people are the Israelites. All right, go back to the picture. And he's like, he's trying to rationalize and saying that might be a person's opinion when they're going on what they're doing in their culture, how they're sacrificing, how they had animal sacrifice, how they had all these different things. But we know they would have because they left in the Assyrian captivity. They have to learn Christ too, ultimately. 722 BC. Mm-hmm. So you got to think about that, all right? Now, play the video. Watch. That guy's the devil. Damn. So he got to hide things. Now watch this. Keep going.
A handful of brave European explorers in or around the approximate years of the 1790s to 1860s. These white European explorers wrote daily journals as they ventured inward towards the interior of the continent from the eastern coast of Africa, mapping and making written observations while in search of the mysterious source of the Nile, which we now know due to their discoveries to be Lake Victoria itself. Some of the explorers' primary purpose was being in Africa was to act as Christian missionaries, bringing the good news of the Lord Jesus Christ to the primitive, unaware black Africans who weren't a part of the Bible, as souls of the Europeans.
Who wasn't a part of the Bible. See how he throwing his rhetoric. Yep. This guy's ignorant. Yep. He's saying look what he's showing you. He's showing you this. Those are not Israelites. We have a book that documents all the people that was in Africa. It's a dictionary. Those folks right there, no Israelites live like that. I'm gonna prove it. Keep going. I just want them to hear this.
To ensure would be saved from the eternal damnation of hell and entered into God's heavenly paradise known as heaven. The following is the European explorers' quotes taken directly from their journals and books written on Africa throughout the 1800s. As you'll soon realize, the following information destroys the myth of the gentle or noble savage. These were entered into according to the Act of Congress in the year 1868 by G.W. Carleton, the office clerk of the District Court of the Southern District of New York. So let's begin.
See,
the Negroes in
pause.
Negroland.
See, you Negroes was from the north thought that you was free, but in all actuality, they was plotting behind their backs, writing in laws and putting in different codes behind the facts that to spawn lies to keep supremacy, to keep themselves looking like they're not savages. They pointed to the slaves and said, oh, y'all was savages. Okay, we're going to find out if we was savages when they point to Africa, Negroland. Come on.
Chapter 1, Cannibalism in Negroland. It is plain from all history that two abominable practices, the one of eating of men and the other of sacrificing them to the devil, prevailed all over Africa. The India trade, as we have seen, in very early ages, first established buying and selling of slaves. Since that time, the eating of men or sacrificing them has so greatly decreased on the eastern side of the peninsula that now we scarcely hear of an instance of either of these that can be properly vouched. On the western part, towards the Atlantic Ocean, though, where the sale of slaves began considerable time later after the discovery of the Americas and the West Indies, both of these horrid practices are still in general, and this is from Bruce's Africa, Volume 1, page 393. What he's not taking into account here or speaking of is the Islamic slave trade, which began well over 900 years before the Americas were even found, but they used to castrate the slaves and so on, and there really wasn't anything to come out of that, and I can't believe he's not aware of it in any way, shape, or form. But let's continue. The common food of the natives of Anseco, or Africa, is men's flesh.
So
And so
he's
much that they
pause.
mark-
He's saying there. This is what Oglebleed and the other Edomites brung over here and said. This is who they are. Now watch this. Go scroll to the end because we'll put the link up so y'all can see it. This is complete nonsense. Stop right there. Go. Let me see. Back up. So this guy right there. All right, let's go.
They're even saying there weren't in these
Go,
other places,
back-
or yet
back
they had
up,
already
back
been
up
taken.
more.
The Caucasians, about
Back
three
up.
Caucasians
Back up.
themselves, that it was
All right,
far
right there.
worse
That's it.
to the west. But a strange thing also happens whenever you look up this same exact book. For if I just back it up here and I looked up Negroland, what you're going to mainly see is black people having written up and made videos where they talk about Negroland and how they're part of Egypt, which West Africans didn't know it existed, nor the Bible, and they sure weren't a part of it in any way, shape, or form.
Pause. He
Black
said
people-
West people in the West didn't know about Egypt, and they didn't know about the Bible. That's what he's saying. Watch this, y'all. Pay attention. Look who he mad at, though. Watch this. Come on.
The Bible's a Caucasian. It's about three Caucasians spread out and made the certain areas there, the Egyptians and so on. It has nothing to do with black people. But
Pause. He
Israel-
said the Bible is about three Caucasians. He talking about Ham, Shem, and Japheth being three Caucasians. This is how stupid people are. But watch. I'm showing you the fall of white supremacy. Keep playing.
like Negroes from Negroland, the Kingdom of Judah. And what they've found is that some of these maps, see if I can find one here, some of these maps will show some sites on them. Here's one of the old ones, yeah. And it shows some sites here where actually, man, I don't know if I can get in here. And if you look at it, there's these places that are mentioned as Ethiopians and so on, and then just Negroland in this one spot. And that's because there was Negroes there, and then above that, all across North Africa, there were not. And they're even saying there weren't in these other places, or yet they had already been taken at the time of the map, and that they seem to have been, I guess, from the Islamic slave trade and so on. But they have all these racist videos coming out now trying to say that they were the black people, the lineage of Ham. Well, you look up Hamites, and it's North African and Egyptian Caucasians. Exactly word for word. You look at Caucasians, and it says that they come all the way up through and into the Horn of Africa at that time. Ethiopians were talked about as being here, not so much the people that are there. And Negroland is only really this area that's up into here. And so again, here's a pastor, Richard Kelly,
Pause.
is added.
He's so angry at Richard Kelly. He's so angry at him. But see, Mr. Kelly, reach back out to us, all right? Because we still got to have a couple conversations about this is why this man is angry at you, because you got to be specific and not play that Christianity. Not play that Christianity, all right? Come on.
Again after awakening over 4,000 people at the Black Lives Matter march in Richmond, Virginia. And so they're going around spreading these self-made up, jealous, racist lies. And it's pretty disgusting. Negroland, tribe of Judah, and there's a place called Olaudah, and it's really supposed to be about the little birds there. That's what they're called. It's kind of like a little pigeon type of thing, but not a pigeon, more like a sparrow type of thing. And then they say, oh, that's us. That actually means Judah. There was no J. And you're like, yeah, there was no J, but that has nothing to do with you. And so they started this race.
So he mixed in a whole bunch of stuff because he's ignorant, and he throws out a lot of things because he did half research. And he's saying, oh, because the old map has the Kingdom of Judah on it. It has Kingdom of Judah. Now, have nothing about a bird.
Right.
But it show you the supremacy in his mind to think that Negroes was nothing. Now, let's go get him off of there real quick. And a lot of y'all who know about Pastor Kelly, we had a conversation some years back, and he knows who he is. I mean, he actually knows now the truth. All right, but once you in the truth, You have to separate yourself from Christianity completely.
But didn't the Bible just prove my point? Our point about who was the ringleader and consulting together to try to have crafty counsel? Because he just proved it. He just sit there and spewed out some lies, rhetoric that don't make no sense. We have biblical proof to prove who we are.
Yeah, and then also historically, go to that book. I'm gonna show y'all his book. Let's give him some. Let me give y'all some nuggets. Go to the cover of the book. You see, go over, scroll, keep going. Yeah, right there. You got to flip it around. Right there. Show him this book. Olaudah Equiano. All right, this guy right here. Scroll in. You see the scroll into the book for him. The name of it. Write that down. Scroll up so they can see it. Written by himself. They call him the African. He changed his name to this because he was a slave. Some of y'all might know this. And he wrote of the written accounts of his childhood. Show them when the book. I got the snapshot for them to know the date of the book and everything. No, it's a screenshot of it right there. Take your time. The life of Olaudah Equiano or Gustavo Vasa, the African, 1745. All right. Give me the page 22. See page 22? All right, highlight that for the folks. All right, zoom in on it. I'm going to read from scroll to the middle of the page. From the middle down. I'm going to read from the middle down. Yeah, just scroll in on it. Bear with us. I'm gonna show y'all something. This book right here, he documents what he can remember about his life in being taken from the Western Banks. All right. Now I'm good. You see where it says put your mouse on they. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I don't know if they can see your mouse, but it says, I remember many used to come to see me, and I was carried about to others for that purpose. They have many offerings, particularly at full moons, generally two at harvest. This full moons is talking about the memorial blowing of the trumpets. When they would bring in the gatherings, because you blow the trumpets, and then at the 15 days will pass, they will bring in a harvest. All right, that's what would happen. It says also, I'm gonna read it. They have many offerings, particularly at full moon, generally two at harvest, before the fruits are taken out of the ground. That's how you know how we keep the beginnings of the month is correct. All right. And when any young animals were killed, sometimes they offered up part of them as a sacrifice. These offerings, when made by one of the heads of a family, served for the whole. I remember we often had them at my father's, and my uncles and their families had been present. Some of our offerings are eaten with bitter herbs. Well, he don't understand that that's Passover. See, he doesn't understand these things because he was taken as a kid. So he's like, we would eat them with bitter herbs. Later on, when you read this book, he understands that he's a Jew. He's an Israelite. He understands that. We had a saying among us to anyone of a cross temper. If they were to be eaten, they would be eaten with bitter herbs. So watch this. We practice circumcision like the Jews. I thought he was savages. I thought they were savages. Right. Okay, right. Like the Jews. And made offerings and feasts on that occasion in the same manner as they did. Why is he in Africa keeping feast days? Like them also, our children were named from some event, some circumstance, or fancied foreboding at the time of their. And he was talking about the birth. So, like Israel, would name the children, when you read in the Bible, they're named after an event, after something happens. Yeah. Yeah, switch to the next page. Wow. Mm-hmm. The time of their birth. Come on. I hope y'all can see this. I don't know if they can. Yeah, 23. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to show you something. Yeah, scroll down on it. You might have to read it. I can't even see it from here. No. Just from right that part, it says, I have aforetime. Scroll up for them. Just scroll up. Y'all folks I'm going to put these snapshots in for y'all. I'm just showing you this real quick because this dismisses the lie. He's recalling his childhood from being taken there. He was brung to Virginia, all right? He was brung to Virginia. He also documents how the natives looked, that they were black, all right? He also was contending with Christianity. From the bottom, right there from where it says, I have before remarked. Right to half the page. Yeah.
Shalom. I have before remarked that the natives of this part of Africa are extremely cleanly.
I thought they was eating people and stuff, right. Taking out fat parts and eating and living like savages. What did he say right there?
I have before remarked that the natives of this part of Africa are extremely cleanly.
Come on.
This necessary habit of decency was with us a part of religion. And therefore we had many purifications and washings.
Because when you read in Leviticus, they would have that. So he's not equating his at this point. He wasn't equating what was going on in his childhood with what he knows, with what he had learned. So he's writing it from this point of mind that what he was looking at as a child. As a child. Come on.
Indeed, almost as many, and used on the same occasions, if my recollection does not fail me, as the Jews.
As the who?
As the Jews.
As the Jews. So he's telling you right there, we lived by the code of our laws. We didn't have a religious practice, so to speak. We had the custom of our laws, which is for us to be clean and decent. Come on.
Those that touched the dead at any time were obliged to wash and purify themselves.
It's in the law. That's in the law. Come on.
Before they could enter a dwelling house.
Come on.
Every woman, too, at certain times was forbidden to come into a dwelling house or touch any person or anything we eat.
So she was on her cycle. She couldn't do it. She couldn't touch it. Okay. This is all a part of our law. But he propagated that those white founders, who came into Africa, wrote that we were slaves and savages, like we were savages. This is proving that's a lie. This is in 1700s. They still taking slaves. Yeah, it's being debunked. All right. Don't worry about them. They'll get clipped off. Give me another. Give me the other one. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it for you. See, a lot of I'm gonna show you something else too. Go to, yeah, what's that one? Yeah, give me that one. I want the very bottom part of it. Sunday evenings. I want the very bottom of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was much shocked. Start right there. This is after now. When you read this book, he finds out, he's like, wait a minute. They giving us Christianity, they giving us this religion, but this religion is wrong. If you're going by the Bible, the religion of Christianity is wrong. So he's now of a man, and he's learned. And the Most High allowed him to learn certain things. And this is how the water level rises, like it says in Ezekiel. Now watch what's happening. Now he's writing as what's going on as he's growing up. He's grown. Watch this. Come on.
I was very much shocked at the custom of bull baiting and other diversions which prevailed here on Sunday evenings, to the great scandal of Christianity and morals.
What did he call it?
What do you call it?
The great scandal of Christianity and morals.
It's the 1700s. He knows this. He like, this is wrong. Come on.
I used to express my abhorrence of it to a priest whom I met with.
He said he abhorred Christianity. He hated Christianity because of why? Come on.
I had frequent contests about religion with the Reverend Father.
So we do that today. We have frequent contests. We go at them saying, wait a minute. You say you're in Christianity. That has nothing to do with the Bible. You're living in error. Watch this. Come on.
In which he took great pains to make a proselyte of me to his church.
He tried to convert him to Christianity. Come on.
And I no less to convert him to mine.
And he was like, nah, you got to do it like I'm doing it, like the Bible said. Come on.
On these occasions, I used to produce my Bible and show him in what points his church erred.
Ooh, gosh. So you got to think about it. He's showing them what points he's cutting them. He's cutting them. So this is where you have to realize they send the black coon in to try to tell us how we supposed to serve the Lord, and it's all wrong according to God's word. And he's cutting them in this is in the 1700s. Watch this. Come on.
He then said he had been in England and that every person there read the Bible.
So what he's saying is, is everybody in England wrong? Is everybody in the world? Folks say that to you. Is everybody wrong? You can't be the only one right. Oh, come on.
Which was very wrong. But I answered him that Christ desired us to search the scriptures.
Come on.
In his zeal for my conversion, he solicited me to go.
Go to the next 247. So he's trying to convert him over. He's trying to get him to go back to Spain. That's where he's trying to go to 247. Read it from the top. He's trying to get him to go back to Spain, because watch what's known. This is a shocker to a lot of people if you haven't studied. But watch what's known in this. Watch this, y'all. Watch what he say. Now this is a first person. This is a primary source. He's giving you in current time. All right, in his current time. Watch this.
He solicited me to go to one of the universities in Spain and declared that I should have my education free.
Come on.
And told me if I got myself made a priest, I might in time become even pope.
He was so being learned, he can become pope. Why? Come on.
And that Pope Benedict was a black man.
That what?
Was a black man.
He talking about, matter of fact, go to Google it for him. He talking about Pope Benedict the Moor. This is who he talking about. Pope Benedict the Moor, they call him. There's writings on him that he dealt, within the James family and was consulting with them. So no, this is how we got on our site King James was black. People be mad at us. Just give me just pull up Google for him. When you pull up Benedict the Moor, this is who he talking about. All right, Pope Benedict the Moor. This is how they paint him, and it's even in churches. Catholicism know this stuff. That's the saddest thing about it. They know who we are. We the ones who are in delusion because of crafty counsel, because these founding fathers who they got carved in rocks, and who they take the books from their heroes and their scholars, and they wrote the narrative of who we supposed to be. Well, that's a lie according to the Bible. It's never been like that. They showing you these go back to Google, the regular, yeah. So they tell you Pope Benedict, what they say right there. I don't really like Wiki, but y'all can pull this up yourselves. All right, go back to that page. I just wanted to show them that they know this. Benedict the Moor. Moor means black. The Moors was called black in England, all right, because it was a social presence that was taking place if you was ever to look at the documents that's in Great Britain, which we was trying to get a copy of it sent to us, but these devils was trying to block it. But the copy of it shows what King James was doing with his money. With what he was taking, who they think is the slaves are black Moors, and he was putting them in velvet. He was putting them in royal garments. Yeah, read on.
And that Pope Benedict was a black man. As I was desirous of learning, I paused for some time upon this temptation, and thought by being crafty I might catch some with guile. But I began to think that it would be only hypocrisy in me to embrace his offer, as I could not in conscience conform to the opinions of his church.
So he like, I'm not gonna compromise what I believe in because I'll be a hypocrite. All right, I'll be a hypocrite. Now go back to page 27 and just read that middle part one more time for him. Yeah, 27. The reason for those gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. The reason for those gentlemen. Bear with us tonight. Yeah, read that. You want me to read from there? Yep.
Like the Israelites in their primitive state.
Start from above that. Zoom in.
Oh, wow. You want to do Dr. John Clark?
Yeah.
Dr. John Clark, formerly Dean of Sarum, in his Truth of the Christian Religion. Both these authors concur in ascribing to us this original. The reasonings of those gentlemen are still further confirmed by the scripture chronology. And if any further corroboration were required, this resemblance in so many respects is a strong evidence in support of the opinion. Like the Israelites in their primitive state,
Come on.
our government was conducted by our chiefs, our judges, our wise men, and elders.
It's telling you how in Africa, in the Western Banks, how he was coming up was coming up within the law and the structure exactly, exclusively, just like the Israelites. All right. Show another picture of the book. You folks probably can go on and get a copy of this book or whatever. Yeah, right there. And understand that you have to change the narrative and search out for our fathers, because they have lied to us so many times, and they're going by the book writings, all right, of other people, so-called white man, who basically has hatred to put us in slavery and servitude. All right. So y'all folks, that's documented. Okay, it's documented. So when you start this is why we keep telling you, brothers, this is why we keep saying, man, you have to study. You can't be lazy and not research and not study, because what so many lies is coming against what we believe and what we know to be true. But now the Most High is opening everything up because it's a fall happening. All right. And I'm gonna show you this video. Matter of fact, brother Yoel I know a lot of y'all saw this video, but he put it up, and then a lot of people reached out and said, man, you have to show this video, because it kind of symbolizes why they would not let us on TV and not put us on a main stage, because we would make so much sense in truth. And then the Bible starts to come out, and that's when demons really can't take it. Watch this. Yeah, that's it. Let me see. Go scroll over. I think I sent it to you. Yeah. Let me see what it is. Let me see it. What's it say? No. It's before that one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention, y'all. We only showing truth, and this is what the world hates, but we're going to show you this because we love our people, and we're about uplifting our people to make sure you black and Hispanics, man, are the most precious things upon the face of the earth. You are forgiving people. You're loving people. You're the most amazing people on the face of the earth. But you've been trapped in a system that have you in a box to shine a light to say that you're this. That's why we have to keep saying so-called, so-called, so-called. That's not who you are. You're God's chosen people. All right? Now watch this. Run the video.
Head of Black Lives Matter for Greater New York. Good to have you with us tonight, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, obviously, people watch what you say in that video, that you want to now shove legislation down people's throats now that you have everyone's attention. And you also have said that violence is sometimes necessary in these situations. What exactly is it that you hope to achieve through violence?
Wow, it's interesting that you would pose that question like that, because this country is built upon violence. What was the American Revolution? What's our diplomacy across the globe? We go in and we blow up countries and we replace their leaders with leaders who we like. So for any American to accuse us of being violent, it's extremely hypocritical. Now, when we talk about violence, we talk about using self-defense. Why are you screaming and not allowing me to talk, ma'am? You asked me a question, allow me to answer. I'm in the process of answering, and I won't be that much longer.
I'm listening.
Okay? You asked what we hope to achieve. We're talking about self-defense. We're talking about 4 or 5 police officers choking someone to death and someone from the community having the training to intervene effectively. We're talking about saving lives. Nobody's talking about ambushing police officers. We're talking about protecting lives. And there's nothing more American than that. And when we talk about uplifting and upholding the Second Amendment, I think that you should be applauding me. Seeing as though you guys are huge supporters of the Second Amendment, but it seems to be the hypocrisy of America that when black people start talking about arming themselves and defending themselves. The talk is violence. But when white people grab assault rifles and go to our nation's, their state's capitals, it's all good.
All right. First of all, I've never talked about my stance on the Second Amendment. That's my. I'm not criticizing you or praising you.
You don't support the Second Amendment? You don't support the Second Amendment?
That's not my role here to talk about my opinion.
I'm asking you a question. Do you support the Second Amendment?
The Second Amendment is part of our Constitution.
Do you support the Second Amendment, yes or no? A lot of your viewers would like to know if you support the Second Amendment.
Well, that's fine. But that's not why we're here. And the only reason that I posed that first question to you, the way that I did, was that I watched you, talking.
She dodged him. Well, he got a hat on saying his soul is not for sale.
This is why they don't want us up there. Because the same, that brother's in the spirit. Because what he's doing, he got her on her heels. You see, she didn't realize this brother was going to be able to hit her with that type of stuff to show her facts. And that's one thing white America hates, when you hit them with facts. And he hit her with a scenario like, I'm going to tell you straight up. You got, like he said, you got the white folks walking around with AR-15s demanding their Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to be looked at as patriotic and noble. But like he's saying, when we do it to protect ourselves, we supposed to have the same rights now. Show you how hypocritical. Like the brother said, the brother was hit. He hit that thing on the head. It's so hypocritical. Because like he's saying, it's so true because you see it. And they want to paint us as violent. What do you hope to achieve by violence? Excuse me?
Please, what do they hope to achieve?
Right.
They always doing violence. Watch, come on.
And on a bunch of different interviews today, and you said, burn it down. You said, burn it down. It's time. So that makes me think that you want to burn it down.
I said, if this country doesn't give us what we want, then we will burn down this system and replace it. All right, and I could be speaking figuratively. I could be speaking literally. It's a matter of interpretation. Like, let's be very real and let's observe the history of the 1960s. When black people were rioting, we had the highest growth in wealth, in property ownership. Think about the last few weeks. Since we started protesting, there have been 8 cops fired across the country. You remember they were telling us that there was due process. Yep. That's why the cop that choked Eric Gardner to death kept his job and received raises for 5 years. Anytime a cop hurt a woman, hurt a child, hurt pregnant people, hurt our elders, there was always a call for due process. You must wait. You must wait. But the moment people start destroying property, now cops can be fired automatically. What is this country rewarding? What behavior is it listening to? Obviously not marching, but when people get aggressive and they escalate their protests, the country listens. Cops get fired. Now you have police officers, you have Republican politicians talking about police reform. I don't condone nor do I condemn rioting, but I'm just telling you what I observed.
You're saying that that's what appears to be working and getting results right now, and maybe that is something for everybody to think about.
Shut her down.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's on Fox.
Yeah, they don't really want that to show.
But see, I'm glad the way the brother hit her where it hurts. You know where he hit her at? Second Amendment. And he said, your viewers, because he wanted to make her understand, we know you're a right-wing type of broadcast. Yeah. We know you y'all love that Second Amendment because let's just be honest, y'all. The Second Amendment was only for white men.
Yeah.
And he was basically putting her on the spot. Say, look here, you know what's going on. Don't try to play stupid.
If we found the whole thing, she tried to pin him into the corner with Christianity, and he hit her back with Christ is black. He hit her with that. Christ is black.
All praises.
And then she started tap dancing after that, big time. But the point is, what's starting to happen is you're seeing the minds of people in all fronts going, wait a minute, everything that this country, everything that the world has been built upon white supremacy.
Yep.
So they want to tear things down, But the still remains the mind first.
There you go.
It just now all the stuff is surfacing. Go to Carlos. Remember what happened? Now everybody mad. See, and this is where what gets me upset about so-called black and Hispanic men, because we can't come together. They go black and brown. They make us look dumb. Yep. We don't never stand together, even though we're getting destroyed. We're getting destroyed, and we're not standing together. And that's the problem. Now everybody underneath Black Lives Matter doesn't even make sense. It's our struggle. It's our fight. We're supposed to get the nation in order. How is that going to even save anything? But you keep seeing these instances when they kill the Southern Kingdom. Right behind that, you have somebody from the Northern Kingdom. If you don't understand that, you're in a state of mind of delusion. All right, play it. Watch this. These people are angry. Let's see if the sound should be sound on there. See, I don't know. We can hear it. Let me see. Yeah, I can hear it. No. Might can find it. Yeah, keep going.
1039, tell me real quick.
Get on the fucking ground!
Oh!
Hey! No, it's okay. It's okay.
Where's he at? Hold that door.
No! Get on the fucking ground! Okay!
Get on the ground.
Get on the fucking ground!
Just hold him.
I'm sorry. Get on the ground now.
Get on the ground.
Screaming, I'm sorry. Look.
I'm sorry, dude.
All right.
Oh, man. Get on the ground!
Get on the ground.
Okay, please. Please. Get on your stomach now. Okay, please.
Get on the ground. Hey, give me that hand, okay?
Please, no! No! I feel the feeling. I will take it. Okay. I will take it. I feel it. Get on the ground. Get out of here. Okay.
All right, hey.
No!
Hold his legs, hold his legs.
Yeah.
Terrible. Tasing him.
Hey, relax.
Oh, shit.
Relax.
You can't breathe.
I'm sorry. Let him get out of here. Don't wait no time. No. I'm so sorry. No. Oh.
More like a 9.
No. No.
Clear the air. Your shotgun unit's coming down here. Give me 49 over there.
No. Oh. Theo. I'm sorry, Theo. I'm sorry.
Naked and just number 6. We're coming forward. We got him detained.
He's saying, I'm sorry. He's trying to tell him I'm sorry. He's out of his mind right now. So watch this. We got to show y'all this.
No. I wish I had some water. I wish I had some. I wish I had some water. Oh, man.
Relax, all right?
I love Sophie. I love everybody.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you gotta stay here. Hey, can you go talk
I
to
love
them?
Andy. And I get back. No. I wish I had some water. Can you please give me some water?
All right, just relax, all right? Relax.
Okay. Can you please give me some water? Can you please give me some water? No.
We're linking up 49.
Oh, shit. Can I please have some water? Please, man.
Negative force. We just need a blanket. He's on something.
Oh, shit. Oh, I can't breathe. Can I please have some water?
I copy negative. Where's his blanket? Is there a unit nearby that could help with the blanket? I'm so far off.
3 minutes. 5 minutes. Watch this.
This shit I'm gonna follow as well. Let me go see, because we need a Spanish. Putting a blanket over you, man.
We got 82 with me. Yeah, we're good. Thank you. We'll worry about this later. He's got to get to the jail, so. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
See you, Peter.
You hear ice breathing? They still on them.
Are you relaxed?
Go to 22-minute mark.
Yeah.
Keep going. Look what they doing now.
It looks like he vomited inside his neck.
They're trying to resuscitate him right now. Working.
Name, do we know names? We do.
Yeah, still on our computer.
They're trying to resuscitate him. Get off of there. He ain't make it. He ain't make it. He's dead. Killed Carlos. Psalms chapter 10. Psalms chapter 10 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?
The Lord, when he removes his hedge, we don't listen. We're not listening. And as a result, we keep getting grinded to powder. It happens over. This is not the first time. Come on.
Verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor.
Come on.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
But if we return to who we supposed to be, the Lord will awake. It's happening. It's happening all over the globe. All right. Read on.
Verse 3. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire.
Come on.
And blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth.
The covetous, the people who in this country that seem like they're winning because it's covetous. You got people, they giving out money. Those monies was going to major corporations who already made money, who's already have money hand over fist. They pouring money into them. Leave you poor. Come on.
Verse 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts.
That's the problem. That's the problem with our people. You put the Most High in your thoughts, you're going to win. No one will take a loss. Come on.
Verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
Come on.
As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
He puffeth at them. Now, remember, if you hate commandments and you don't want to do the laws, this is the reason why we're in the predicament we're in now. Because you alienate yourself from joining back to your nation and following the Lord. You've alienated yourself. So you're living as savages, just like everybody else, but they don't have compassion. So you getting grinded to powder. Come on.
Verse 6. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity.
That's the mind state of this country. That's the mind state of the so-called white man. He daring somebody now to touch those monuments. How you talking about, okay, somebody, you do this, we're going to give you touch a monument, you're going to get 10 years in prison, right? But meanwhile, the girl just killed, police officer just killed that boy. She got 7 years. Yeah. But you touch a monument, you getting 10 years.
Same thing if you kill a bald eagle.
You're right.
You going to jail. That's supposed to be the symbol of this country. Kill a bald eagle, you're going to go to jail. But like you just said, it just shows you how it tells you what they, yeah, exactly, shoot yourself and go to jail.
Yeah.
Ask Practical Bears on that one.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Okay. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages.
Come on.
And the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor.
Come on.
Verse 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net.
So when you live like him, you're going to be snared like him. Come on.
Verse 10, he croucheth and humbleth himself,
Uh-huh.
that the poor may fall by his strong ones.
That's the point. Put it in the comments. What does he mean? He croucheth and humbling himself, that the poor may fall to his strong ones. I'm trying to see you brothers, man, you have to realize something.
Pay attention.
This man is using media. He's using Black Lives Matter. He's using all the little tricks of politics to seem like he's humble. You know what? I have to humble myself to it. But in all actuality, you're going to fall by strong ones. Meaning at the top, they don't care about that.
I'm about to say the same thing. I said it to her brother this week. I said, look, brother, they can do all that marching, but they're not changing no laws, are they? They haven't changed any laws to actually offset what's going on. So at the end of the day, it's no change. Oh, you can keep marching, turning down monuments, doing all that old crazy stuff, but it won't change nothing.
Nah, when you look at Virginia, because we keep telling you folks out there, no matter you care about it or not, this is the capital of Deuteronomy 28.
Exactly.
So what the governor came on and said, he said that they're going to be taking the slavery laws that was in place in Virginia and going through them, wiping them out. And what that meant is that the people who are doing payday loans and title loans and all that, they about to move out because he took them and said you can't charge them high rates anymore.
Yep.
You can't charge them 236%. I think he put it down to 36 or 39%. And they said, oh, we got to leave. So they're leaving Virginia.
Because when you go to Deuteronomy 28, verse, I'm gonna show y'all how y'all know we Israel, y'all. You see, this is what y'all don't understand, and we keep telling y'all this all the time. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. I mean, no, not 37. I want 44.
44.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. You want me to start at 43?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the key right there.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43.
Right.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So, like the elder was saying, because we broke God's commandments, the Lord is allowing the stranger, which is the other nations, to get above us very high. Right? The flip-flop. Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
We're on the bottom. It just is proven we're economically, socially, everything you could think of, we're on the bottom. Read on.
44. He shall lend to thee.
Oh, so see, he shall lend to thee because you don't have a financial institution. Okay, we don't have the payday loans. We don't own that stuff.
Your money, your face ain't even on the money.
Exactly. Go ahead.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
You won't lend them because we don't have that type of power. We don't have the power. Okay, like you just said, our faces are not on that money. That's why I kind of laugh at remember the movie Coming to America?
Yeah.
At least when they had the face of the money.
Yeah.
And my man was like, hey, when I tell you this man have his own money, he got his own money.
Yeah.
It just show you a glimpse of rulership. But go ahead.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
He
shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
And that's what we are. We're the tail because we follow everything the head tells us to do, every ideology, every politic, everything that they do, we follow it. Because we are the tail. The head moves. The head is in control.
Go to Numbers 20. It brings me something to my mind. Numbers 20 and verse 16. Let's go there real quick.
The book
Matter of fact, start at verse 14.
Okay. The book of Numbers, chapter 20 and verse 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom.
So you folks that don't know biblical history and how the system was working, Kadesh was a prominent area. Egypt was biting for it. Egypt wanted it, but it was like a neutral ground. It's like a major property, a land that people wanted. So we're journeying through there. Watch what happens to Edom. Come on.
Thus said thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that have befallen us.
You know everything that happened to us coming out of Egypt. Watch this. Watch the evil spirit. Come on.
Verse 15. How our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers.
So they knew that. Come on.
And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel, and have brought us forth out of Egypt.
He sent an angel. That angel is Christ. Come on.
Behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost parts of thy border.
So the city of Kadesh is in the uttermost parts of their borders, up there where their borders are at. What's funny is the Lord is coming again to get us out of spiritual Egypt. A lot of you folks don't understand that. Come on.
Verse 17, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards.
We're not going to touch the fields or your vineyards. That's what they're saying. Come on.
Neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed by borders.
So we just wanted to pass through there. Come on.
Verse 18, and Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me.
He said, no, you can't. Excuse me? All right, come on.
Lest I come out against thee with the sword.
You see how y'all folks have not really learned that yet.
Damn.
His mentality is when he
war.
has adversity, go to war.
Yep.
Kill. That's his mentality. It's not, oh, you know what, let's sit back and let you go. Democracy and those diplomacies is an illusion. That's why that man on Fox was like, it's hypocritical. You're a hypocrite. You go to war when somebody disagree with you. Instead of saying, well, they just disagree, leave them alone, they go to war. Come on.
Verse 19, and the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came into Mount Hor. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah.
Stop right there. So Edom had already put confusion and everything is going on. This is how you understand, if we rebel against the words of the Lord, we will not get the kingdom. We have to come. You have to learn this. See, we're doing topics like this, but what you don't realize is you got to get in this and start studying and asking questions. Hey, what do we need to do? Do we have a holy dress code? Yes. We went over the commandments in what was it, last week?
Yep.
Do we have a way we need to eat? Yes. All right. All of these things that the Most High told us to do, we need to return back and do them. The Lord has feast days. We just did the topic. Don't worry about no Juneteenth. What happened? in North Carolina. They went out there. They're celebrating Juneteenth. Somebody opened fire. People end up dead. Now, had they kept commandments, would have not happened. Another thing is, y'all see on TV, they showed on the news, D.L. Hughley just passed out.
Yep.
Doing his, I'm going to do my stuff on Lord's Sabbath day. Now he passed out. Wake back up, they like, oh yeah, you got COVID. Excuse me? People are not thinking.
See, I'm going to tell you something else too. People don't believe that this is trying times and this place is being hit with plagues. And the same way Egypt got hit and he kept Israel safe, the only way we're going to stay safe, brothers and sisters, we got to keep the commandments.
You got that dust video?
Oh, yeah.
The only thing you're going to be able to do is keep commandments. That's it. And you're 100% correct. You see plagues coming. If you just think biblically, they took out Exodus in the slave Bible.
We tell y'all, stay still, Israel. Don't make no hasty moves because I'm telling you, the Most High can hit you anyway. I don't care where you're going. Gonna hit you.
Show it. Oh, okay. And then give me page 79. I think you had that page too. Because what's happened is they have deceived all of our people. We rebel. Some of us think we're Egyptians. People thinking they all kind of things. Oh, you know what? I'm African. I'm Jamaican. All these different titles of different nationalities that was placed on us. That stuff is new. That's not who you are. All right. And you just haven't realized it yet. But guess what? The truth is on the earth now. There's no escaping. People are waking up, understanding, I'm not falling for the white supremacy. The Teddy Roosevelt statue with the that's biblical prophecy with the native and the Jake on the side, both of them on, northern and southern kingdom, walking on side of him while he's on a horse. People don't think it's still biblical prophecy. They go, remove that. Play it. Look at what's happening here. Huge dust plumes from the Sahara Desert has traveled across. Yeah, that's DR. Where that dust come from? The Saharan dust. Usually, pause. Go back. It says usually Saharan dust disperses into the ocean before reaching the Americas. Come on. So it's over Puerto Rico. They predicting what? What are they predicting? Here's the dust. And pause it right where they hit it, where they looking at it at. Keep going. It's coming right through that little neck right there. Now stop right there. Yeah. So this dust is happening. This is all spread out. Now, when you look at the what's going on, they go, wait a minute. We have a surge of coronavirus in Florida and Texas, all these areas. They ain't realized yet. No one hasn't realized yet. The Lord is the one that's bringing diseases. He's the one that authorized the disease, all right, for disobedience. Yeah, go ahead. No, get him off of there. Go to page 79. Disobedience because you think you're everything else other than what the Most High called you, okay? Now, why you finding that? Watch this. You got to understand this is everything that's playing out is biblical. Go to Job chapter 15 verse 31. Start there. Verse 31. Bear with us tonight, y'all.
The book of Job, chapter 15 and verse 31. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity.
Don't trust in vanity. Don't trust in lies. Come on.
For vanity shall be his recompense.
That's going to be your reward. If you keep believing what your oppressors told you and not researching and understanding the book for yourself and understanding who you are, that's going to be your reward. You're going to keep thinking that you're an African American. You're going to keep thinking that you're Spanish or Mexican or Puerto Rican, Haitian, Jamaican. You're going to keep thinking all that because you trust in vanity. You trust in lies. Come on. We just read a person who the Lord put the Spirit on to document the western banks of Africa, and he said that they were keeping laws as the Jews. Come on.
Verse 32. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green.
Come on.
He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive.
And that what that means is you have something that's so unique to our heritage and to our culture, to who we are. It helps us in all levels. I'm talking about for health, the different medicines, the different herbs, the things that we're supposed to put on our skin, all the way down to even when you have a baby. It's written in here how you're supposed to deal with each other, even on that level. A husband and wife have a child. You have that baby. You're supposed to wait specific times for boys, specific times for girls. You're supposed to do all that. It helps. But because we don't, we just rely on, they tell us anything. Just wait 6 weeks and pop some more out. You have to understand all of this contributes to our demise. All this, but in the Bible, it shows you how to be healthy. Come on.
Verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites.
The who?
The congregation of hypocrites.
That's the so-called white man. He's complaining on one end. The man said it. He's a hypocrite. He's a congregation of hypocrites. You don't want to, you claiming you about peace and love and God, but in all actuality, the country is founded on rape and murder.
Exactly.
And free labor.
Exactly.
Come on.
Shall be desolate.
But the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate.
Future tense.
Future tense. Come on.
And fire shall consume the tabernacle of robbery.
Wait a minute. What did he call it?
The tabernacle of robbery.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Who that sound like? It's just like when you're in the court of law. You can bribe the judge. You can bribe because they do a lot of them kickbacks.
Money gets you off.
Get you off, sir. And we keep telling people that. That's what makes this whole setup so unjust because, like we said, even with the George Floyd case, let's use an example. He was first charged with third-degree murder. Then because of the outcry, they're going to push it up to second degree. Now, shouldn't you think if you just, wouldn't you just do it because you're just? Why you wait to an outcry, public outcry? That's how you know it's not sincere. That's how you know it's not authentic. Because if I have to wait for somebody to go through a public outcry, that's not being real.
No, all this is an illusion. That man, they can tell us he in jail all he wants.
Exactly.
We know how the system really works. They double book our people, and they put names and numbers on it, and then they sell those names and numbers to people who want to get off. Primarily with rich white folks who get caught up into the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
And then they get a name and a number, and you can't visit them either.
Nope.
Because they're not there. They in Aruba somewhere sitting down.
Yep.
It's sad, but a lot of our people are so gullible and so ignorant, they don't realize that this country is wicked, and long as you have money, there was a GoFundMe. But the Most High allows things to happen. If you're a watchman, you watching.
Right.
How you got a GoFundMe for an officer who committed murder?
Exactly.
And then his GoFundMe reached like $10 million or something stupid like that.
Right.
Who knows what else he got? Let him get him off.
Because it shows y'all we're so gullible because we trust in this system. See, we thinking that this man's system is going to actually destroy one of their own. It doesn't make sense. So they do stuff to pacify us by making us think, they charged him. They arrested him. Oh, my goodness. No, you're being gullible.
Yeah.
It's a plan behind everything they're doing. Trust and believe that.
Let's read on.
Verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
Come on.
They conceive mischief.
Why? Because they conceive mischief. They conceive it. You don't think this stuff is planned? Come on.
And bring forth vanity.
Lies, come on.
And their belly prepare deceit.
They already have an answer.
Exactly.
For whatever you trying to put out there in politics or whatever, there's an answer, and they don't mind lying. Trump done lied so many times, but it's just because of the media showing it through you seeing it. But all the politicians from Obama all the way down, they all have lied.
Yes.
Every single one of them, because you don't realize the country is not ran on honesty.
Yep.
It's not. You're trying to be honest, while the crooks is like, nah, let them stay at the peon that they are. Let them stay like that.
Right.
Now, go to let them keep thinking. The reason why it's happening is because you keep thinking y'all are something else. But in that book, in the same book, I'm going to show y'all this. You got 79? Go back to it. I'm going to show y'all this. This is how you know there's a difference. Read it from, you can read it from One Day at the top.
One day when I was on shore and mentioning these circumstances to some persons, one of them told me he knew where my sister was.
Because he looking for his family. He like, one of them said, well, he telling him his circumstances, it sound familiar to him. Like, well, I think I know where your sister's at. Come on.
And if I would accompany him, he would bring me to her.
Come on.
Improbable as this story was, I believed it immediately and agreed to go with him. While my heart leaped for joy, and indeed he conducted me to a black young woman.
So his heart leaped for joy because he's looking for his family. He immediately brought him to a young black woman. He brought him to a young sister. Come on.
Who was so like my sister that at first sight I really thought it was her. But I was quickly undeceived.
Come on.
And on talking to her, I found her to be of another nation.
Stop. Yeah, I found her to be of another nation. I mean, all black people, you might look at them and be like they got dark skin or whatever the case may be. That's not the case. They can still be of another nation. He knew that.
Ain't that crazy? He said nation.
Yeah, another nation. He did not of my nation. Well, wait a minute. If we was on that continent, shouldn't we be Africans? Read it again for them. I don't think they really paid attention to it.
I would accompany him, he would bring me to her. Improbable as the story was, I believed it immediately and agreed to go with him. While my heart leaped for joy, and indeed he conducted me to a black young woman who was so like my sister that at first sight I really thought it was her. But I was quickly undeceived. And on talking to her, I found her to be of another nation.
There you go. Come on back. Now, give me the book of Obadiah real quick. Verse 6. Verse 6. That you got to realize that what's happening to us. We have lost our entire heritage. We don't know what to eat. We don't know how our bodies react to certain different things because we have been discontinued from our heritage. So if you've been discontinued, you sit in a strange land, rotten, doing things, eating pork chops, all right, ham hocks, all kind of stuff, chitlins, pig feet, everything. And now wondering why, wait a minute, why at night I'm having bad dreams? Why at night is all, you got to think about it. All of that has happened to us and it's been bred down systematically through our genes. So we have all kind of health problems. When they look at us, they go, they the worst hit. They got all the health problems.
But you know what's sad? We glorify it with we call it soul food. And and even the movie, remember the movie Soul Food? They glorify eating chitlins and eating on Sunday, and we just, that's down home cooking. That's big mama. Not realizing Big Mama putting your butt to a doggone early grave. Not realizing.
And Big Mama and Papa just pray over you. Look,
Right.
Same Christianity mentality.
Exactly.
But would you just pray over a dead body and eat it?
Exactly.
All right. Would you walk outside and eat roadkill?
Here we trying to tell you, brothers and sisters, we have a holy diet. The Lord said, you are holy people. This is what I want you to eat. Because he understands, because he created us, how our bodies work. I want you to do it this way, then your body will replenish itself. If you do it this way, this is why you keep getting hit, and we constantly keep the worst health care. We already have the worst health care anyway.
So genetically,
Right.
we have been beat down so much, and you pass down those stress. If your mama was stressed pulling her hair out,
Yep.
your grandmother was, your great-great-grandmother was, your grandmother before her was, your great-great-great-great-grandmother was, then genetically you come along, you done survived. The Most High allowed us to get to this point, but you so denigrated because of the level of slavery and oppression and stress that now, even in your mind, you don't work right.
Nope.
Even in our minds, the nation itself, you look at it and you go, some people are not thinking correctly. Well, yes. Look at what we've been through as a nation of people. But now, that's where the Spirit strengthens your memory. The Spirit strengthens you. And then you become free. That's why we always say we are part of the captives, but freed from the shackles of the mind. You got to understand that. Obadiah, verse 6.
Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
Come on.
How are his hidden things sought up?
So how do we know what Edom is doing? Esau, the nation, how is it sought up? Now, watch this. Jump up a verse. Verse 5.
Verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off?
If robbers came, how would you be cut off? If the thieves came by night, how? Come on.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Come on.
If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
So it shows you, this is what it means if you're confused. He's saying if somebody robbed you, you might still have something left.
Right.
But when you look at Esau, he took everything.
Everything.
He took everything. Everything, including your nationality.
Yep.
All of everything. You became nothing, and you could have contributed nothing to the world. He contributed everything. When we know that, if you look at it's a book called by Ivan Van Sertima called African Presence in Early Europe, you'll see all of our pictures. If you look in the Byzantine Empire, the Dark Ages, you'll see all of our pictures and everything that we're contributing to it. You look in the book of Secret of Mankind, you don't see us with spears and plates in our mouth. You see us dressed with jewels. Ladies got dresses on, hair done fabulously.
Look at Russian icons.
Right. You don't see these things, what they told you were. All right. You don't see that when he drew the natives, he drew them in a way to denigrate them. He didn't draw it like it really was. Because when you go down to the bottom end here in Virginia,
Yep.
where a lot of things was happening, you see that they're dressed in garments with
Yep.
fringes on it.
Yep.
They are not naked. Genesis 27.
Yep.
Verse 38.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 38.
Come on.
Oh, shoot. I was in Exodus. Oops. Genesis.
Another thing is, when you read in Deuteronomy 28, verse 37, it says that we're going to become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whether the Lord shall send us. We don't even call ourselves by Israelites. And the people that should know that we're Israelites amongst us, they have even reverted back to Esau, thinking that somehow that they found the light in the world in Christianity.
Oh, my goodness.
And here's the thing. This is how you know someone is detached. I'm going to give y'all a number one clue. This is it. This is it. if you see somebody trying to battle what we're saying, and you hear them battling on any other thing in this book, you have now realized that you need to leave that person alone.
Yep.
We're in the worst state right now, and you have people want to steady go against the laws, go against the commandments. You never see you don't see Satan telling you keep commandments in there.
Right.
So the thing is, they're trying to hinder anybody who look at this. They go at them. Hey, that's a cult. But then you realize all the monuments, everything around you, the money, the mountain of evidence that's pointing to white supremacy being the true cult, being the true culprit of the world, being the way it is, and they still want to come at this? Why? You got to ask yourself a question. Why are they so concerned with what the Israelites are doing?
Exactly.
Because they know the fall of white supremacy is at an end. The people who got Stockholm syndrome, they don't even know what to do. What we do, master? They got to follow. If it wasn't white people taking down those statues, I challenge y'all, go back and look. I guarantee you, every time a statue's being done, something's done to it, you have a bunch of white folks around it.
Yeah, because you know what we were doing. You know what they do to us. We don't listen. We don't even do half of that.
You'd have been made an example.
You better believe that.
But because it's the children of the mayor, it's the children of the sheriff, it's the children of the senators. They're the ones out there doing all the stuff. It's the children that's doing it. So they can't, don't kill our children. They're just acting up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 27 and verse 38. This is why Esau is in power.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Always crying. Come on.
Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou have the dominion.
So he said he going to live by the sword. That's why you see Israel was going out. He still had the sword. It's the same thing right now. And it shall come to pass. He living in the best. He got the dew of the heaven right now, the earth. Now he's living the best. But now why? It's this part right here that you need to get seeped into your mind. This is white supremacy right here. Watch.
That thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
So Jacob, which is the Israelites, when the so-called white man breaks the yoke off of his neck, meaning what? Now he got full power to do whatever he wants. No one can contest him. If he was in the old times, the Israelites could stand up and be like, you're not God's chosen people.
Exactly.
But he broke the yoke. He got the little ones brainwashed to think that, oh, we're just Africans, or we're Spaniards. We're Spanish people. We're Indians. Give me a break.
Verse 41.
Come on.
Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing.
There you go.
Wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Always got murder in his heart. Because think about it. Listen, this man got weaponry like you won't believe. And he wants to use it. And he's going to use it. But you look at the prophecy. Look at what he's saying. He hated the nation. It should be nothing new. So why y'all think they constantly want to keep putting us to death? It's telling you, showing that the scriptures is what it is. It's a constant thing, a continual stroke. But what do? We just bypass it. Pastors won't read this. They won't explain. This is the reason why we constantly keep catching hell. Because when we depart from keeping the commandments, the Most High will remove the hedge and allow all the other nations, primarily the so-called white man, to put us to death constantly.
The so-called white, you're 100% right, and it's sad because we're reading this, we're showing you guys the way that supremacy works.
Mm-hmm.
It works through taking you and making you subservient to their ideologies.
Mm-hmm.
I teach it to my sons. We teach it to brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and we telling you folks, when you understand who you are, there's a different spirit that's supposed to come upon you. Okay, you're supposed to look these folks, any one of these nations, you look them dead in the eyes whenever you talk to them. All right, because you're not beneath anyone.
Yep.
When you read in Deuteronomy 7:6, you're above all people upon the face of the earth. So you need to understand, don't react in emotions. Understand that we're the greatest people upon the face of the earth. Christ came and died only for you, the Israelites. All right? 100%. You look them folks dead in the eye. Never look away. Never look down. Understand who you are according to the Bible. And guess what? This ain't going to last.
Nope.
Because, Lord's will, tune in Sunday. We're going to show you the actual fall.
Exactly.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
Let me tell you something. You brothers better get ready, man.
Exactly.
All right? This is not a game. All right? At the end of the day, the Lord will return. And when the Lord returns, he's given one command. That command, slay utterly. So it looks like we docile right now. Right. But when the Lord does give the word, it's time to activate. Make no mistake about it. All right? Because this is a warrior nation. Right? You got to understand that 100%. We're not going to continue taking the beat down. It's only a matter of time. If you wake up, you're out of here. All right? All praises to the Most High in Christ. I'm telling you right now, join the force. You better join the force. It's the greatest time. Go to IsraeliteSaintsChrist.org. They've been trying to shut that down. All right? For a minute, but all praises to the Most High. All right? Y'all stay connected to the movement. Lord's will, we got something to do tomorrow. They hung a brother for the 99. We trying to get out there.
Exactly.
All right? So, continue to send up the prayers. Just because we closing out, guess what? You can still continue to study and read the Bible. All right? Understand that 100%. Lord's will, Sunday, you make sure you tune into that class. Tomorrow, we coming right back at you, Lord's will. All right? Shalom. Happy Sabbath.